Hello, my name is Bruce Griffin and I'm Executive Chair of Sheffield Resources. I'd like to thank TZMI for once again hosting the Congress in the virtual format and hope that next year we will get to meet in person. Here is our standard disclaimer, which I encourage you to read in your own time. In today's presentation, I'm primarily going to focus on an update of our 50% owned Thunderbird project in the north of Western Australia. I'll talk a bit about the flow sheet and products we expect to produce, provide an update of our partner Yansteel's titanium dioxide project, which will consume our LTR ilmenite, our early works program in the current Kimberley dry season, the ongoing engineering and bankable feasibility study, where we are with our funding and expected financials, and provide a timeline to final investment decision and ultimately production. I'll also provide an update on our 100% owned Midwest project and close with some comments about our approach to environmental, social and governance considerations. The picture on the right hand side is an aerial view of our process plant area and is there to show the scale of the early works program that's underway in the current Kimberley dry season. We have cleared the process plant site, which is in the foreground of this photograph, as well as some laydown areas immediately behind that. And then you can see the access road, the start of the access road, which runs approximately 30 kilometres out to the main highway, which has been upgraded and completed all the way to site to provide good access throughout the wet and into the next dry season. Before I provide an update on the Thunderbird project, I just want to recap on the quality of the underlying ore body. The graph shows a number of existing operations and potential projects around the world in mineral sands, with the bubble size representing how much valuable heavy mineral is contained in their ore reserves. The position on the horizontal axis reflects the zircon grade, and on the vertical axis TiO2 grade. You can see from this graph that Thunderbird is a relatively large deposit. It certainly has the highest zircon grade of any of the large deposits, and also has a relatively high titanium dioxide grade. And what this essentially is telling us is that Thunderbird is a large, high-grade ore body, and unlike a number of these other assets, has the advantage of being in a low-risk jurisdiction, Western Australia. And this slide shows a simplified flow sheet for the Thunderbird project. It shows the two primary products being zircon concentrate and LTR ilmenite, and our primary byproduct, titanium magnetite. In recent months, test work has identified that two streams that were previously regarded as reject streams in fact contain sufficient quantities of valuable heavy mineral to be sold as additional concentrate products, and therefore we expect to sell two additional products, being a non-mag finisher co-product and an LTR co-product. Therefore, our product suite is expected to look like this. Our primary product by volume is low temperature roast ilmenite, about 530,000 tonnes per annum, which is going to be sold under a binding offtake agreement with our partner Yansteel. Second product by volume, but the largest proportion of revenue, is a zircon concentrate for approximately 200,000 tonnes per annum, containing zircon, titanium dioxide and monazite. We have binding offtake agreements in place with 3 customers for a combined 170,000 tonnes per annum. Titanium magnetite being our primary byproduct, about 160,000 tonnes per year, and we are having discussions with Yansteel about also purchasing this product, as they are a steel producer and can consume this product in their steel business. As I mentioned on the previous slide, we have 2 additional co-products. The first one, the LTR co-product, is about 20,000 tonnes per annum of concentrate that contains titanium dioxide and monazite. The second new product is a non-mag finisher co-product, about 70,000 tonnes per annum, containing zircon, titanium dioxide and monazite. We've had strong interest from processors to acquire both of these new co-products. Our partner in Thunderbird, Yansteel, recently provided us with an update on their titanium dioxide project, which is intended to consume the low temperature roast ilmenite from Thunderbird. This is a smelter and chloride pigment plant complex in China, and they commenced plant construction in late 2020. Civil works were completed in the middle of this year, and process equipment and support system installation is underway. The expected completion of construction is in the middle of next year, with commissioning in the second half of 2022 2022 using ilmenite from other sources. Therefore, it is expected that this facility will be operational well in advance of the supply of first ilmenite from Thunderbird project. We have an extensive early works program underway during the current 2021 dry season, which is intended to maximise the use of the current dry season to ensure that we can take full advantage of the 2022 dry season for process plant construction. The main elements of this are the mine access road. Earlier I showed a photograph looking from the process plant site out to the main highway. The photograph on the right hand side here is an aerial view from the main highway turnoff back towards the process plant site. And we're upgrading the first 18 kilometres and the remaining 12 kilometres being built out to the process plant site. We have cleared the process plant site. We've prepared construction water supplies. We're drilling 2 wells, which will subsequently be used to provide production water during operation. We've also recommissioned our accommodation village, and we've tendered for additional capacity for the construction and operations phase. Another element of the early works is trial mining. We recently completed a second mining trial where the focus was on confirming the preferred mining method. Commercial scale equipment was mobilised to site, including a D11 dozer versus the D9 used in the earlier trial, as well as a production scale continuous miner. Having trialled both of these methods, we've concluded that the dozer mining uses a D11 as the preferred mining method. We were also able to take additional samples to finalise the input separation and feed preparation circuit designs, and we've been able to update our operating cost estimates based upon actual measured productivity of rip and push. The picture shows the second trial mining pit, which will ultimately be where we commence mining when we start commercial production. Another element of the early works program is engineering and long lead item procurement. The engineering for the project is at EPC standard, with the exception of the low temperature roast, which, having simplified it earlier this year, requires additional engineering before it will be at a level suitable for an EPC contract, and we expect to achieve that level of engineering early in 2022. There are a number of critical long lead path items required to maintain a 2024 production start date. We've received tenders for these items, and the first packages, being spirals and WIMs, are targeted for award in the 4th quarter of this year. Work on our bankable feasibility study is continuing. In line with other capital projects in Western Australia, we are seeing capital cost inflation, albeit at a lower level than others are typically reporting. This will be offset by the change in scope, with a net reduction in capital from the removal of the zircon MSP and the addition of the simplified low temperature roaster. There is a focus in the project team on capital minimisation, hence the continuation of LTR engineering until it is EPC ready, as this will allow us to reduce the risk premium and contingency requirements. We are looking at BOO opportunities for infrastructure, as well as other value improvement opportunities. We are targeting a stage 1 directed capital expenditure in line with the 2019 bankable feasibility study update of 392 million Australian dollars. The project will be funded through a combination of cash already on hand, with a balance of just under 120 million Australian dollars as at the end of September. The cash contribution from Sheffield Resources of 10 million Australian dollars required to be paid after the final investment decision is made. We're making good progress with the NAIF loan facility, which will no longer be infrastructure specific and is expected to be at a significantly larger level than the 95 million Australian dollars that was previously agreed, with the balance of funding to come from commercial finance facility. We expect the project financials to be similar to those of the 2019 bankable feasibility study update, with an NPV which had an NPV of just under $1 billion Australian dollars and an IRR of 30%. This slide shows our pathway to final investment decision in construction and production. It shows the activities that have been underway since we formed the joint venture with Yansteel in March of this year. We are now aiming to complete our definitive feasibility study by February of next year, leading to a final investment decision late in Q1 of 2022. We expect to start construction at the beginning of the next Kimberley dry season, with construction to continue through to late 2023 before we commence production in early 2024. I'll now provide an update on 100% owned Midwest projects. Eneabba is a series of 11 deposits located approximately 140 kilometres southeast of Geraldton. A scoping study update earlier this year indicated that these deposits could support a 26-year, 190,000 tonne per annum HMC operation. We have received non-binding proposals to acquire the project, and we are currently assessing these proposals. Should a transaction occur, the consideration will be used to fund our $10 million Australian post-FID equity contribution required for the Thunderbird project. The other project is McCall's, which consists of two large deposits located 110 kilometres northeast of Perth. An earlier scoping study is currently being updated, and once that scoping study update is completed and we have completed the Eneabba process, we will consider potential transactions to realise value from the McCall's project. I'd like to close by summarising our approach to environmental, social and governance considerations. In terms of environmental considerations, we have all state and federal approvals required in place for the Thunderbird project, following a detailed public consultation process. We are looking to do rehabilitation throughout the mine life, which is designed to minimise the disturbed area, and all our environmental practices and protocols mirror the Equator Principles. We are looking to address the climate change challenge and have a CO2 baseline emission estimate in place. We are looking at opportunities to add renewable energy to our gas power generation, as well as longer term emissions to reduce emissions. We will be setting a 2030 target and target date for net zero as part of our final investment decision for the Thunderbird project. In terms of social considerations, we have a coexistence agreement in place with our traditional owners, and we are targeting an industry-leading level of Aboriginal employment by year 8 of our operations. We are looking at Aboriginal training and business support initiatives, as well as paying cash royalties to the traditional owners over the 37-year mine life. We have set high standards in safeguarding the environment, water, diversity and heritage, and use our traditional owners to support us in these initiatives. We are looking for a local employment model and expect to create around 300 regional jobs on a drive-in, drive-out basis. We offer the opportunity to create intergenerational employment given our very long mine life. Our governance is compliant with appropriate frameworks, and we have a commitment to increase our board and management diversity. Thank you for your time today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch.